Hi, welcome back. I'm Rebecca Olson, CEO of the Maryland Association of CPAs, and I am delighted to have another amazing female leader in Maryland with me here, Samantha Knickerbocker. Samantha, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Samantha Knickerbocker. I'm with SC&H Group. I'm part of our Tyson's group specifically, and I've been with SC&H just about 8.5 years. And I started my career with Ernst& Young, also in public accounting auditing. So
Awesome, Samantha. Well, congratulations on being a Women to Watch honoree.
thank you.
So many of these females that I've been able to talk to about their career journey have accomplished so much, right? A career is just a constant journey of new things and new designations or opportunities. I'm curious, what would you say would be the accomplishment that you're most proud of in your career so far?
Definitely the number of clients that I've helped. At CNH, we work with so many different clients throughout the year. I actually went and counted. We probably work with about 40 clients a year, splitting the year between financial statement audit and reviews and 401k plan audits. So roughly speaking, that's 20 financial statement audits and 20 401k audits. And each of those clients is truly a chance to help financial statement audits, whether we're finding adjustments to help them get their accounting right, whether we're making internal control recommendations or process improvements. And 401k plans, we're often finding money where participants are owed and making sure participants get their money and the client is following the plan document. Each client is unique every year. In the accounting world, nothing really ever stays the same year to year. So there's always something new, a new opportunity to help the client. And with the wide number of clients that we work on a given year, it's just constant chances to help clients. So when I really think about my time in public accounting and with SC&H specifically, I just think of the many, many ways we've helped clients, the many different clients we've helped. And that's truly an accomplishment to me where I feel like I'm making a difference and it sticks with me that we're able to make that difference.
That's awesome. Yeah, you mentioned how the accounting and finance profession is constantly changing. Your work, and that makes it exciting, I'm sure, in some ways, and can be hard in other ways. And we've seen over the last couple years just the profession change so very much. What advice would you give to a young person that's entering our profession, maybe in particular a young woman that's thinking about going into accounting?
Yeah, definitely. I touched on this, I know earlier when we started, like I actually started out of my firm's Sparks office, and now I'm part of our Tyson's office. A lot changed with COVID and remote, and the same goes with our clients too. So our firm's currently in a hybrid mode. I don't work in my office day to day, but I attend different events with my firm, mostly like team building events. And the same goes for our clients too. So when I think pre-COVID, I was at client sites every single day, and that's just simply not the case anymore. To be honest, even when we try to go to clients, a lot of them are remote themselves, or have smaller lease space after COVID, and like, oh, we don't have room on site. So um it really has changed a lot. And with that being said, though, I think it's very important for someone entering the profession to still realize the importance of those in-person connections. When I started my career, it was something that I was there at the client every day and I got to work on developing. And we can't just forget because we're not at client sites every day. And same thing internally with our teams, being a part of a team and still being a part of the team building event. So some things we've been doing, I know like in our Tyson's group, we hold like a big networking event for all our clients every year in the springtime, just making sure that we're still seeing people face to face and having the chance to talk about life, even if we're not talking about the details of accounting. That's really important. And I think conversations like that used to happen, when we're at the client site. And same thing internally with our teams. We do a lot of really good team building things, team building activities. We went in the springtime to one of these things where we played soccer in big giant bubbles.
Oh,
But a lot, different activities. We also hold a firm field day. It was our third annual field day in June, up in our Sparks office, and we had different teams and different activities, things like that. Just provide the chance to be social, talk to your team members. Again, not just always about the accounting, develop those relationships. So even though our field has changed so much with clients being remote, us being remote, having team members remote, taking time to still develop those connections and those relationships are really important. They'll continue with you, and they lead to just an overall better relationship, even, when it comes time to do the accounting with the clients. Like, I've been able to realize that in my career, that having that relationships help. So for someone new entering the field, they might not always realize that that is important, because it might not be what we're doing every day, but it's important for them to still try to make those connections and be a part of those activities, so they are developing those relationships.
absolutely. Yeah. We think of ourselves sometimes as a numbers profession, but we're way more a people profession than anything else. Really, it is all about relationships. Speaking of relationships, I know someone that has, ascended the career ladder and gotten to the positions and the accomplishments that you've had. Obviously, it takes connections along the way, people that have mentored, sponsored, encouraged you along the way. Who would you say has been a significant mentor or role model for your career?
There was a partner that actually just officially retired with us. And
Oh,
since you
wow.
mentioned that you were with SCNH, you may know his name's Mike Young.
Yeah.
He was an audit partner that I interviewed with, when I was making the transition from Ernst& Young Big Four to SCNH. And I was lucky enough to work with him for many years. And he is just so composed, knowledgeable, and really wonderful with clients. Watching him again back in the days when we were more on client sites every day, watching him with clients, and just how much respect clients have for him, how much they look up to him, how they quickly reach out to him throughout the year. Um, Again, talking about the people connection, it was so clear that he was respected and had developed those relationships, as a person first, and then also, though, his knowledge, like, he was just so knowledgeable, and they say, like, if you're really knowledgeable at something, you can teach it, and he was so clear, concise with the comments, the feedback he provided. He was so easy to learn from and good at explaining things. And actually, when he retired finally this past year, now when I say finally retired, it took him so long to really transition out. I think even now he's somewhat in an advisor role because of his connections with clients. People continue to reach
Yeah.
out to him, throughout the year, because he's just a trusted advisor. And he even spoke to that in his retirement speech that he gave, just how important those connections were. I mean, how he's always been quick to get back to clients, or even if he can't get back to them with an answer in the minute, he's like, I'll get back to you, let me look into it. Just that communication, letting clients know you're there for him. So watching him with clients and with our teams, has just given me something to strive for. Like, I do think the knowledge will come, right, for anyone. Like, I think Mike would even say that himself. He's like, well, I've been doing this a lot longer than you. Like, that's how I have all my knowledge. But it's the people relationships and watching how he dealt with those that truly stuck with me. And from both aspects, like, I hope to
Yeah.
continue to gain the knowledge, gain the client experience, to have his knowledge, but also gain those relationships that he had watching him as a role model in the field.
Yeah. Awesome to have such a legacy that he's created there, and to have that role model for you to see those interactions and that relationship side of our business. That's amazing. So MACPA has been on this journey, and you might have heard a little bit about it. We're of course facing as a profession somewhat of a negative narrative. And I think a lot of it is just misunderstanding of what our profession does and why it does what it does and the real impact of it. And you started it your our conversation by talking about how you help clients. And
Mhm.
so we've been really narrowed down on what is the CPA's purpose and how are we impacting, how can we reconnect ourselves as the profession, but also the public to the real work and the impact that we have. So I'm wondering if you have what you would say is your CPA purpose statement. What would that be?
Yep, absolutely. And I think this goes back to what we talked about. And I think for me, my CPA purpose that continues to motivate me is I want to be a trusted advisor. I don't want to just be an auditor, an accountant. I want to be Mike Young, right? My role model, where people are coming to me with questions throughout the year. They'll know I'll get back to them shortly. They'll know I'll have the correct answer or work with them to find the correct answer. And the great thing is I feel like with so many of our clients, we do have that now. I think I'm an auditor. The stigma of auditors, like they're here, they're going to find things wrong, they're going to bother us, they're going to tell us what we did wrong. And I think getting away from that and realizing that we're helping you, and we will help you, and not just when we're doing the audit or review. We can answer questions throughout the year. I think that really motivates me. And I think what I said at the beginning, like I feel valued by the number of clients I helped. And I think that comes from being a trusted advisor, not just an auditor, checking the boxes or uncovering fraud, really being there in multiple ways for our clients and growing with them, and not just, again, being there for a week during the year. I think that's really important for the profession that people look at it that way. And I think for someone new entering the profession, looking at it as a trusted advisor, that gives me a lot more satisfaction, and I think would give anyone a lot more satisfaction than just being a CPA, accounting, or auditor. Truly learning that you can make a difference.
Awesome. So lastly, we the Women to Watch awards, we have two categories. We have emerging leaders and experienced leaders. And obviously the common word there is leader. So I wonder, Samantha, what does being a leader mean to you? What does that look like?
Me, being a leader is always taking responsibility. I, keep going back to my role models, and, besides Mike, who I've referenced a few times, just other partners I've worked with, just not being scared to step down, especially in our industry with CPA shortages and, definitely a shortage we've been facing. I know, like, I found myself, like, I 8.5 years into, or really 12.5 years into the profession. Sometimes I have to do things that a staff or senior for traditional roles might be doing. And I think that's part of being a leader. That's stepping down, doing whatever it takes to get the job done, to help our clients, to see it through. And I don't mind that. And part of the reason I don't mind that too is the leaders above me would do the same thing. We're all a team, and the leaders don't, ever stop and let something fall through the cracks. They're always taking that responsibility. So, again, as I continue to grow as a leader, I think it's something I do, and I look at those above me, and that he is like always taking responsibility to me, and something I know is a part of me as a leader, and something that always will be. And I have some great role models that have shown me that.